What's up, family? Welcome to Positive Power Double XI, J. Royce Films. I'm Jerry Royce Live, and you're watching The Red Room with Shay Samuels, right here on Music Vision Television. That's right, MVTV-21.com. It's going to be awesome, y'all. So please share this file. It's going to be awesome. You know what's going to be? It's going to be lit.
Welcome to the Red Room. I'm your host, Shay Samuels, and do we have an amazing show for you today? Yes, we do. I have a very, very, very special guest. Not only is she special, but she is pretty too. So guys, I want you to stay tuned right here to the Red Room. Do not turn the dial. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my special guest. You guys are going to learn so much more about her today, and we're going to get right into this juicy, juicy topic. So again, do not turn that dial. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my special guest, Miss Jessica Gonzalez. How are you, Miss Pretty Lady?
Hi, thank you so much. Takes one to know one. So I'm doing great. I mean, it's Friday night. How can you not be happy right now?
Yes. And I'm excited to have you on the show and for everyone to learn more about you. And this topic tonight, it's going to be amazing. It's a juicy, juicy, juicy topic, one that's possibly needed, especially right now with everything that we're going through in the politics and life for everyone is just changing, even outside the pandemic. But, I have a saying, or my partner has a saying, that the television tells a vision. And so this topic tonight, we might bring some clarity to the vision that the television is given. So first, tell everyone about yourself. Who are you? Where'd you come from? And all that good stuff.
Oh gosh, it's that question when everyone freezes up during an interview all the time. Yeah, gosh. Okay, so let's get into it. My name's Jessica Gonzalez. I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. My dad's Dominican, my mom's Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised in New York City. I currently still live there right now. So New Yorker at heart. I know the subway system like the back of my hand. Super easy. So super great for me. However, I still can't drive. Working on that though.
Up north. I'm from up north and I can't drive.
Okay. All right. So then you know what? New Yorkers can't drive in general. We can't drive. But you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
So I was born and raised in New York City. I've always been a bit of a creative person as well. As something I really want to note is at a very young age, I started dancing around 5 years old. Then I worked for Rosie O'Donnell when I was 11 and was accepted into a dance theater program. And then I studied theater for years. Actually, I went to a performing arts high school where I studied drama instead of dance because I wasn't big on ballet. I was more of a hip hop girl. So I studied. Thank you. It's just the New Yorker in me. Hip hop all day.
I see that bit of Honey, that show, the girl Honey.
Yes. That's kind of like how it was. I was more like the Cheetah Girls when I was little, like back when you're little and you want to be the Cheetah Girls. Oh my gosh, I love that movie to this day. Oh my gosh, so many memories coming back. But I studied drama for 4 years in high school, and that's really been beneficial for me in terms of being creative, which I've been applying in my adult life as well right now. Then when I went to university, I studied abroad in Amsterdam, lived there for 7 months, got to meet so many people, went through a spiritual journey of discovering myself like everyone does as the main character of their story.
I love
it. Now I'm currently in New York City. I did live in Chile for a little bit as well, teaching English.
I saw that.
Yes. It was so much fun. It was so interesting to kind of get to know your cousin countries because there's so many Spanish speaking countries. So it's like you're visiting a whole new family member every time you go. So very much love that. And I was going to actually move to Asia, but then 2020 happened and now my plans kind of got thrown for a loop. But the upside, I was able to start my own website. I was so hesitant in the beginning because I was afraid of, like it's that big step of, okay, I'm actually in charge. I'm taking the initiative. So I launched my own website last year, 2020. Thank you so much. It was so nerve-wracking. But I'm so happy with where I'm at. I've been working so hard. I also have a little sister who is a big inspiration of my life, who happens to also have autism. So I'm also super involved in the autism community. And yeah, I'm a bit all over the place. It's really hard to condense me sometimes.
It's all good. I mean, what you really just talked about was kind of what we're going to talk about today. And it really was just about diversity. I actually, when I was going through your bio, I thought about two of my family members who are sisters. And I have one who's actually married to a Puerto Rican, and she's Black. And then her sister, who is a counselor for autism children. And so I was like, wow, she has a bit of everything that surrounds me. My producer he's an adult, but my music producer, he's an adult, but he has autism. And so it's like our music, it's weird because my music with his production, it just kind of marries one another. And try to get somebody to actually mimic his music live, it doesn't work. There's these little tinkles and all this kind of stuff that happens, and they're like, how did he do this? And so I applaud you for everything that you've done thus far and everything that you continue to do. And really, maybe this, but if you don't, you're really making a mark in different communities, just being who you are. I can tell that you're a very free-spirited person, and that's always good. So it's not really all over the place. It's just your free spirit allows you to touch many, many people.
Thank you so much.
What that is. And so don't ever let anybody tell you that you're just scattered. You're not scattered. just say for now on, no, I'm just free spirited, and that tinkles on just about anybody that I touch. That's it. So we're going to go ahead and get into the topic. It's a juicy topic because a lot of people stay away from it in a way that, how do I say it? Well, I would say this: now in this life, people don't. People, there's the Black Lives Matter. There's the political injustice. There's, white supremacy. There's so many different things put in front of our faces,
Yeah.
And I heard, again, that relative I was talking about, I heard her on the interview, and she talked about diversity, but diversity doesn't just mean one race.
Yes,
diversity
exactly.
doesn't mean one race. And so at the start, you started giving us a little bit about your history, and you're Puerto Rican and Dominican. And so guess what? So many people are uneducated on what that means. It's like Asian, Oriental. Everyone just thinks it's the same, and it's not. And so how important is diversity, especially right now in 2021? How important is it for us to identify and understand and relate to what diversity means to this world today?
I believe that it is, in terms, keeping an open mind, in terms all right, so how do I sum this up? Let me just let it go. So I'm gonna just freeball it. I think that diversity is important in terms of our ability to understand each other and really get to know each other, because we are such multi-layered people. It's so hard to define one person. So hard, because it's like you can see so much, and then you understand there's more to them. It's like, and not to make a Shrek reference, but it's like they have so many layers, don't they? Exactly. So that's kind of the thing. And I think that's kind of the work that I've been doing, is going towards, is understanding the layers of people, understanding the differences of other people. And that's very much why I love what I do. I've been working with, children, been working with children with autism, different people of different backgrounds. And I'm such a hyper-focused person. When I'm with one person, I really need to break it down and understand each layer of them. So sometimes when I'm with multiple people, it's very overwhelming. Maybe it's social anxiety, who knows? But honestly, I love that. I think that's the thing about diversity, is that we're understanding each other so much, and it's such a hyper-focused element, and it requires us to be hyper-focused. Sometimes in this ever-changing world, to be honest, it's like in the last 20 years, how much stuff has changed. I mean, iPhones, iPads, Apple Car soon, I think. So
I was thinking when you were talking about communication, I was just thinking about how communication has changed, even diverse communication. So when my daughters were in high school, they started like shorthanding their words. So, I didn't even know what LOL was for a while. I didn't know what like SMH was for a while. And so that's even considered like a diverse behavior because it's their language. And so as you were talking, I was just thinking about when you were saying layers, language can really be part of that. And it's not always what we talk about, but it's how we absorb. Sometimes language is nonverbal. So what do you think
Absolutely.
about what I just said about the language barriers or the lack of understanding communication between age, race, female gender versus male gender? That's all diversity. What do you think about that?
Are we talking in terms of language or just like
Language,
the whole?
language,
Okay.
language.
Language. Oh my gosh. So I study language. I'm currently studying communication science, and it's so interesting in that there's so many different ways that we can say things without saying anything. And it's very interesting that you brought up the texting because we kind of have this joke in the communication science field that we always are using different alternative forms of communication.
Yes.
People don't think we are, but we always are. And in the communication science field, we call this argumentative and alternative technology,
Yeah.
which is why you say LOLs, FML, SMH, all these things, because it's how we've evolved language. And I mean, even if you look back to Old English, back like I'm talking William Shakespeare, it's
Yeah.
completely different. The
Yeah.
way we talk, it's been evolving. The way we communicate has been evolving.
Yeah.
And typically, I mean, maybe to reference a little bit of autism, the way my sister and the way her friends talk,
Yeah.
completely different. And even in the way that their speech goes and the way that they speak compared to like how we're speaking right now, it's a little bit more slower, it's a little bit more different, it's a little bit more shorter, but they get to the point a lot more.
Yeah.
But that's just
Yeah.
how you also need to hyper focus and try to understand what they're saying. And
Yeah.
it's okay to sometimes just ask questions because
Mhm.
that's how we gain knowledge, it's how we learn. You always need to learn something new every day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Keep the brain working. There's always something out there that you don't know, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I like that because, as we talk about diversity, we've already uncovered that there's so many forms of diversity.
Absolutely.
And I think we are at that point right now where we have to be able to identify because even with our younger generation, they are learning on a whole different level. And so we've put diversity in this box. Like I said, it's Black, it's white, it's, male or female, and really diversity is a broader range. So I'm glad that we have this topic tonight because we're going to be able to uncover some things and really teach some people that diversity and communication is just as it should be just as a laser focus, because again, if you don't identify with it, then you really can grab the wrong tone. And I don't mean just tone like out of your mouth, but I mean tone even with body language or tone with stereotypes. Ooh.
Yep. Usually that's the
Comes with
case.
stereotypes. And so it's important. If you're just tuning in, we are here right now with Miss Jessica Gonzalez. And our topic today, we're talking about diversity. I didn't put a prefix with diversity because it's just all diversity. The television is telling us a vision and it's telling us what we should see. And because of it, it's dividing us. It's dividing,
Exactly.
it's causing a divide in this world. And so I just want us to uncover some of the ways that we can really start to kind of cohabitate with one another. You coming from a Dominican family and coming from a Puerto Rican family, you said you went over to Chile and you were meeting a different type of family every single day, although you all should have been in the same bracket. What was that like?
So I moved to Chile. That was a whole nother level for me. And there's like this joke in the Spanish community that none of us understand Chilean Spanish.
Uh-huh.
And it's true because I got such a culture shock in terms of the language. So Spanish is my second language. English was my first, Spanish was my second. My grandparents immigrated here, so I needed to know Spanish. I went to Chile to kind of go through this journey of understanding my place in my culture.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a shock in terms of how they spoke. Because, for example, Plátano means banana in Chile, but here it means a green banana that you fry and you eat for me. So that was a bit of a shock. I was like,
So
wait,
you went
what?
over thinking I'm going to go ahead and just kind of commingle with my people and got shocked all the way through.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, there are moments that my host family was speaking and I didn't understand anything that they were saying because
Goodness.
they just talk super fast. And I mean, there's always the joke that Dominican Spanish is like Spanish cursive. And
Yes.
I mean, I guess to an extent it is, but to me, it was so much easier to understand the Spanish in DR. And I'm like, I'm also half Dominican, so that's also the problem. So I'm like, am I being biased? I grew up around this. But like Chile, it was so difficult, but they very much were like, oh, you're Puerto Rican Dominican, like, bienvenidos, welcome, prima, all of this, like, because they very much are like, well, we all share the same history. We all just have different countries and different customs and traditions. So they were super welcoming. The language barrier was very much there. Even if you knew Spanish, it was very hard.
Yeah.
But also in terms of like their tradition, I had to learn their traditional dance of La Cueca and different from merengue, which is our national dance. So it was kind of like me, like you find out you have long lost cousins and you're like, yo, we're cousins and they're about the same age. And it's like, yo, we should hang out. This is gonna be fun. And it was honestly a great experience.
Yeah.
I lived in the desert where they filmed a movie, actually, 33. It's about miners who went missing where I was. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
was
I
just
saw that.
amazing.
I-
Yeah.
And that, and
Oh,
I think I just saw it yesterday.
wow, that's crazy. Okay. Wow, this is a small world. Crazy coincidental. Okay, cool.
Yesterday. We'll have to talk like another time. But again, diversity, it comes in all shapes, it comes in all races, it comes in all ages. And I
Absolutely.
think right now at this time, Jessica, we really do have to kind of hone in on the importance of it because we're living in the world right now where there's every race. People are
Mhm.
coming from every country, and they're migrating, not just here in America, but people from America, like you said, are migrating to other countries as well.
Yep.
And so we go with this idea. Oh my goodness, it's crazy because even in certain parts of the world, you think I have to clutch my bag here.
Yes, there are moments. Yeah.
Yeah, there are moments where you realize like I need to clutch my bag here, or I need to lock my door. And sometimes you feel like you're in an area where you don't need to do that, and that's like the worst area in the world. But it's all that the lack of information or knowledge we have about diversity causes us to have a stereotype. And
Yeah.
so let's talk about the stereotype of diversity, if you don't mind. Let's talk about those type of things where just because you might be black, just because you may be white, or even though you speak Spanish and you went to you're thinking, well, I'm going to go here and they speak this way, you got that culture shock. Let's talk about the culture shock of diversity. How do I want to put this? Let's talk about well, it's the stereotype because you said it's like that Spanish. What is it? Dominican cursive. It's a
It's so Dominican Spanish is like Spanish cursive, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, in the 3 minutes that we have, let's just say this. Let's talk about, if you can. Time goes by so fast when you're having fun too.
I know, right? Jesus.
But
Okay.
let's talk about the fact that there is a level of stereotype that causes diversity to be a problem. Let's just say that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be honest. There were some stereotypes thrown at me when I was in Chile as well.
Wow.
Everyone, so I don't look Chilean. That's one thing we're gonna get straight.
Wow.
They very much assumed I was Brazilian,
Wow.
which was very interesting. Yeah, no, I'm not offended. I've been to Brazil. I've had fun in Brazil. It's a beautiful country with amazing people. I have amazing friends there. But it is very much the assumption of, okay, you look this way, then therefore I'm going to assume this. And also I did get like one comment in that, if you're half Dominican, why aren't you darker? And I'm just like, whoa, okay. I mean, I'm like, look, I can be Dominican and look this way.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't take too much offense to it in that I'm like, okay, you're just a little uneducated. And plus, Chile's all the way down here.
Yeah.
And my islands are all the way near the United States. Trust me,
Yeah.
that flight was 17 hours. They're far. never do it again. That they're far. So I mean, I kind of was like, okay, this is a chance for me to kind of just be like, it's fine. I have met Dominicans who look like me as
Yeah.
well. So I kind of just take it as an opportunity to just be like, hey, it's okay. And I try to do it in a calm manner because I feel like people are uber, like super reactive these days. And I don't think that gets through to people. That's the problem. Thank you. I think that's the problem, is that we're too quick to react emotionally. It's like, okay, hold up, let me have my emotional moment in my head. Because I did have my emotional moment in my head. And then I just talked to them calmly. And I was like, hey, I mean, my mom's half Puerto Rican. I look more like her. But I do have cousins on my Dominican side who actually do look like me as well. So it's kind of like, realize that the world is kind of mixing and that people are going to be looking different ways. So when you're also in an isolated country, such as Chile, which is a little bit isolated, I will be honest, it's kind of isolated sometimes because it's very far. And most people like to go to, Colombia, Argentina, Brazil, all that. So, I mean, it's, exactly. So I very much do experience that. And I think that the harmful stereotypes are something that unfortunately we are going to encounter. But instead of, because I feel like too many people argue, take it as a moment, and then just calmly have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because that's how I handled everything in Chile. I wasn't offended. I was like, okay, all right, hold on, let me talk. Let me talk. Okay, let me give it a minute. All right, hey, by the way, I mean, there's people in DR look like me. People who are Dominican in New York, in the United States, because it's like, the culture is evolving here in the US to something new. Just, understand that people can look this way, people can be different, and the world's evolving. We're all moving around, we're all mixing. It's going to be this beautiful melting pot like 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity to have conversations. That's a big thing.
I thank you so much, Jessica, because I think that we've given a lot of clarity to diversity, and that it's not just about the race, it's not just about the age. It can be language barriers. It can be anything that we would cause or allow to cause a divide. So I want to thank everyone, and Jessica, you, for coming on with me today, being my special guest, and really helping me to unclear. This has to be a part 2 because this was so good.
Thank you. Yes, agreed.
I didn't know that you were in communications, but I just kind of got that vibe. I told you're free spirited.
Yeah. I go with the flow.
We want to thank you all for tuning in to the Red Room. Again, I'm your host, Shay Samuels, and we want to make sure that you guys tune in to the next episode of the Red Room. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.
No, I'm sorry. You weren't sorry when you said it on the phone.
Listen, there was
no,
people
but
screaming
at the end of the day, and the climate that we live in today's society,
I was sorry.
I understand it, but it's above me now.
On a daily, people try me. It's getting harder and harder to turn the other cheek. You say give mercy and grace and to be more like you, but it's easier to say than do. To push every button that they know to push. It shouldn't be this hard to keep choosing good. Why do the best type of people have to take the most crap? But I rise above foolishness, I rise above talking slick, I rise above ignorance, and it's all above me now. Above me now. It's above me now. It's all above me now. Above me now. Who can imagine the difference it will make if people minded their business, the business that kept them paid? My skin ain't a reason to try to play me. At the end of the day, you ain't no better than me. Racists and liars and thieves are all the same. Just praying my choice to choose good and in vain. And in vain. But I rise above foolishness, I rise above talking slick, I rise above ignorance, and it's all above me now. Above me now. It's all above me now. Above me now. Every me trying to be more like you, but my tests seem like they're getting harder to get through. You say you won't give me more than I can bear, but sometimes in life it just seems so unfair, so unfair, so unfair. But I rise above foolishness, I rise above talking slick, I rise above ignorance, and it's all above me now. Above me now. It's all above me now. Above me now.
You know it's every day. And we count the cost, that's a major bank. My sins on the cross, that's a heavyweight. Yeah, you made a way, now we tailor-made. And he done met the man all I ever need. Spirit running through me like I'm on an IV. Now he see me shine bright like some high beams. And we dripping with the vision, got the visine. And we blazing trails like it's daytime. And we bring the heat like it's waste time. And he take the lead like it's game fine. And y'all be my set, so I bang mine. Praying that these young hitters really get it. Hope they know they got amazing, this is not a gimmick. Hope they know the life official, man, it's not a scrimmage. Hope they know that he is risen, you can come and get it. They say that they bout they green like they Kyrie. I say that I'm about my king like I'm Vladi. They say that they bout they green like they Kyrie.